Solomon Haumono, thank you for joining me on NRL Fans WA.
G'day, Jamie. How you going, mate?
I'm great, mate. Yeah, I appreciate you jumping on. Give me some of your time, mate. I know you're a busy man.
Mate, appreciate it, and just thankful that yeah, we share something in common in the rugby passion for rugby league and its involvement.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. um, Not just your rugby league career, but also your boxing career too, mate. You've excuse me, had a pretty pretty big career in both sports, mate. When you look back on your career, on your sporting career, is there anything that you've taken out of it that you've it's made you into a better husband, person, father that you are today?
I think yeah, all the I guess the different skills I sort of attained from being a sportsman. Not just the natural athletic ability, but you know, in a team, your role, just being respectful and just being, being able to own the what's it called, the opportunity, own the opportunity. I didn't realize that until well after in my career, but as you grow and as you learn. Wisdom. Wisdom is such a treasure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you're born in New Zealand with
Correct.
Tongan heritage.
Yes.
Um, you move over to New South Wales when you were young. You attended high school and school over in New South Wales.
Yeah. So I came over. So Dad was a boxer, and he came over um by old promoter in Sydney, old McQuillan. He brought him over. He used to be Uncle Tone and Tony Mundine.
Yep.
Seniors trainer manager, and yeah, got him for him to spar. So dad was over in New Zealand, did an exhibition fight with Joe Fraser, and
Okay.
Joe Fraser, and then caught the eye of Alden then, and then Alden said, "Oh, I need this guy," and then we came back to Australia. Well, he came, and then me and my mom came, and yeah. So yeah, and Dad was fortunate enough to win the Australian title, and that's where the sport started with my dad, and um, but yeah, we have sporting history that goes back into the island, so through grandfather and whatnot, and yeah, so it goes back, but yeah, it
Oh,
all
that's
started
cool.
with that, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I was because I was reading up on you. It didn't and unfortunately it didn't say anything about your father being boxer as well, and especially
Yep.
being an Australian champion. But that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to hear. How did you go from obviously your dad being a boxer into playing footy? Was it just because all your mates at school were playing footy and all that sort of stuff, or was it your dad was trying to keep you away from boxing?
I'll tell you a funny story, James. So Dad, um, yeah, so there wasn't too many sort of Tongan men in Sydney, but the so few that were there, they formed the first uh Tongan side in the St George district, and part of that St George district team was I don't know if you remember the first NRL player Sione Fifita. So
Oh, okay.
Sione Fifita is our first NRL player that came from St George. Oh, played with St George Dragons, and he came from that team. And I remember being the ball boy and watching these guys and thinking, wow, these guys were giant, but they were giants, and yeah, that's what footy was footy. So yeah, I have those fond memories, and geez, well, I just remember the game and what it was, and yeah, just that memory of how tough it was and how yeah, how that side had an impact on my growth as well.
Yeah, yeah, right. because that's pretty cool. Like you've got inspired by one of the first Tongan players to play in the NRL.
Mm.
That's awesome to hear because you look at the stars these days. Um, um, the Tongan stars, Samoan stars, all that sort of stuff. I don't think they really appreciate what they are for the younger generation at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the impact it has is it goes um I guess the understanding of the opportunity that you have and what reach you can have towards impacting especially the young Tongan men growing up in Australia. So
Yeah.
and abroad as well. But I remember back then we were like the 5 minute men, like contain them for 5 minutes and everything be sweet then. And then but then it went from 10 to 15, 15 to half one half, and then one half to full, and now we're pretty much dominating. So yeah, it's great to see how that's evolved. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. How good is it to see so many Samoan and Tongan players in the NRL now? And because there is so many of the Tongan, Samoan, Fijian, New Zealand guys that are living in Sydney, Brisbane, and all that sort of area. How proud are you to see these sort of guys coming up through the system?
Yeah, it's so yeah, it's like to remember when our parents were first here, and then them obviously coming to a beautiful land like Australia, but then their foremost goal was to bring everyone from overseas, and like those earlier days, I remember what it wasn't that easy to get to this country, and what's it called the immigration and all that was pretty tough, and so um, seeing where it came from like a lot of people were overstaying and just to have that opportunity, just to get that opportunity of living here and to what rugby league brings is such a yeah, you can't put it to words what it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We'll jump into a bit of your career now, mate. Your footy career, anyway, to start with. You debut in '94 again for Manly.
Yes.
You go over to the Dogs. Go spend some time at the Tigers, Dragons, back to
Yep.
Manly, and then you bugger off to England for the last part of your career. But
Yeah.
in all that time, you also get to represent City in the City country origin.
Yep.
You represent New South Wales. It was in the Super League time,
Yep.
and Australia. But
Yes.
also then you get to represent Tonga as well, like in the whole lot of it. So you've had a
Yes.
pretty good career, man. Like it's pretty how to explain it? Like it's up there, like with the stuff that you've been able to achieve.
Man, I just look at it as a great opportunity that I was able to play something that I love, but playing for Tonga in the early years and having an impact on carrying the our country's flag and then Australian colors as well, representing them. That was such a huge honor. I was a schoolboy before that, and had the opportunity to play against England. So I was thankful to have that opportunity. Um, but yeah, meeting a lot of household names along the journey as well. Touching shoulders with them, playing on the same fields with them. Yeah, it was a great honor.
Yeah. Well, because I remember I grew up in the '90s, and I remember you playing for Manly. Like I remember a little bit playing for the Dogs, but
Yeah.
like for me, your name comes with Manly. When you look back at your time at Manly, you had the two stints there. Um, how great of a journey was that to sort of start there and then come back to them?
But I always have a soft spot for Manly. I'm I'm there now with the development with Lisa Fiola, and yeah, so you know the Eagle is yeah a soft spot in my heart. Not many people agree with that because they either love or hate Manly, but 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 yeah, I was very fortunate enough to be coached under Bob Forden, the late Bob Forden, and then all the great players that I was fortunate enough to play alongside, and took some stuff and held it with me along my journey. So but that Brookwell that Brookwell in the 94, 95, 96, 97. Wow, wasn't there 97, but yeah. Anyway, that's a long story, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll never forget that the there were times there on the field where yeah, you just felt like we had such a team that was so yeah, we were so one that yeah, I guess I can relate it to how Penrith is.
Yeah.
They just yeah, that invincibility. You had that invincibility, like didn't matter who were playing or who were about to take on. We just had that confidence in not only each other, our team, but just yeah, we're just all yeah, we just had that will to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like you said, the household names that you played with in that team, those teams
yes,
was, it was just ridiculous. Like Menzies, Tuvey, Lyons,
mate.
Mark Carroll, all these sort of guys. And then you had yourself, John Hopewade,
Nick Kosef, Daniel
Nick
Gardner.
Kosef. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We had Jack Ellsgood. Um,
Yep.
Obviously he was a great footballer as well, but he was I think he was we had that sexiest bed thing going.
Yep.
I don't think he'll mind that, but he's a good man, Jack.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Jamie Olginik as well.
Yep.
Yeah, who else? Chris Bryan. We had Craig Hancock.
Yep.
Danny Moore. Who else was there?
Yeah. You had
Uh,
Craig Field as well.
Craig Field, that's right.
Yep.
Billsy. Owen
Yep.
Cunningham. Um, Neil Tierney as well, big fella.
Yep.
Um, Mate. Oh, I apologize if I've forgotten any names, but they're
Yeah.
all great, all great fellas, all great players. Um, oh, and there's sorry, the club now at the moment, Tony Mestroff and uh, Dave O'Donnell, uh, two Z, Jeff's there as well.
Yep.
Yeah, but I apologize for any of the fellas I've missed out. Yeah.
Yeah. There's heaps of names that you probably have missed, but yeah. I mean, yeah,
But
it
the
was.
staff as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our just as important as the team was
Yeah.
was our staff as well. Like yeah, they just knew how to I related to like a trainer. Like when we just a subtle word or a subtle sort of behavioral thing that will just change the momentum of where we're going, and that's the beautiful thing about I think of that oneness of a club when in
Yeah.
that state. They can just yeah, have that what's it called I guess that in tune, that harmony,
Yeah.
which yeah, the success breeds off the back of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, after your first stint, man, you jump over to the Dogs, mate, and I was reading. There's a bit of a tumultuous time there for you. You didn't really want to be there. You're trying to get out of the contract, all that sort of stuff. Was there anything in particular that made you not want to be there?
And doggies.
Yeah.
What's called? You know what? I love, like I said, I love my time there. The minute Canterbury, the players, the staff, all open their hearts. Um, I just think for me at the time it was just yeah, just I was in a sort of, I guess everything started coming all at once. Being
Yeah,
in that team with Manly and all the sort of interest and all the so I started sort of losing my way a bit, and
yeah,
started falling away and started getting on. What's the word? Started letting things that I should not let get to me. Um, but they did, and impacted my sort of sporting abilities. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Did you? So you finally finished with the Dogs in '98. You jump over to the Tigers. I think
yeah.
you got injured there, didn't you? Because you only played a
Oh,
handful of games.
so what happened was a stupid uh I was looking, yeah, like to really dominate and um and I remember PC saying to me, at the start of the year, he goes, I need he referred to me as one of the it was an athlete. I can't remember who it was. He said, you're my Jordan or something like that. And
Yeah,
um and I had it in my mind that I was gonna come out this year and destroy it. But then what had happened was, obviously I was talking about things that get to me, and obviously my um I was doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing with just I guess drugs and stuff like that. But my body was becoming weak and tearing apart. So I remember because my game was very physical, and I used to love taking on uh the dominance on the field, but my body wasn't upholding. I think I tore my tricep off the bone
yeah,
because I wanted to break the fall, but I think I can't remember who was on my back. I think there was two players, but I can't remember. They were big boys, and then stuck my whole arm up, and then I played with I think half the season with one arm, but
yeah,
I couldn't play the ball properly. So
yeah. Okay.
I was becoming detrimental to the team, and
Yeah,
I just sort of sunk into more of a hole, I guess. Yeah,
yeah. Um, you go over to the Dragons. Only play a couple of games there. Head back to Manly. But before you finish your I guess NRL career in Australia, you head over to London to play for the London Broncos. How
yeah.
how was that going from I guess the warmer climate of Australia in winter to the really cold, freezing in England?
Mate, I'll tell you what. I when they said it was cold, like I said, like typical us, think, it's not cold. I went up. Everyone was in, like this, what's it called winter gear, and I came in there with a singlet and shorts. And I walked off. I walked off in the middle of. I remember I think it was getting towards the hard bit of winter, and yeah, jeez, yeah. I learned a lesson. I learned a lesson real quick. So I didn't know cold until I went there. So
Yeah,
uh, but anyway, what a great time as well. Beautiful, beautiful club. In the south of London, it's not very big, but what it did do was those of us that sort of the club brought there, we became really close, and because we were the only team pretty much in the south of England, and all the football was up north.
yeah,
But got to play and meet some great people. Um, I love the concept of Challenge Cup.
yeah,
How all the clubs in the whole nation play for that one prize. So like Manly could be playing uh, Ref and All Blacks. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And everyone has a shot at that big prize. So yeah, I really love that. That was really good, and what it did to, like the sort of little towns and little places where not really much doing, but when the footy was on, sort of brought that whole town alive. The community, you see
Yeah.
the impact it had on them. It was really uplifting.
I think the NRL should maybe look at something like that.
Oh, I tell you what, wow, I reckon, mate, that would be amazing. I reckon.
Yeah, it would. It would. You know, like if they got, I know it's a huge place. For example, go from over east over Perth,
Yeah,
but getting these local clubs, competing against, they don't have to run at their first grade side, but
yeah,
competing against those big clubs, it also gives the people like that are in South Australia or in WA
that's right,
a chance to sort of put their name on the big stage in a sense.
man. You know what? And I think like a couple of the guys I remember playing, you play against professionals all the time, but what stood out for me, I guess, was just that willingness to compete. Like on a, obviously they don't have I guess the facilities and training and whatnot that's dedicated. Like it's dedicated to us professionals. But
Yeah,
to see these guys come out and perform how they did is like, yeah, oh man, I can't put it to words, man. It was like,
yeah,
man, it's like, wow, yeah, this is this is not normal, and I love to see that happen here. That'd be awesome.
yeah. It would make it like it would make the country fall in love even more with rugby league. I think you know.
Wow,
Yeah, I was going to say
absolutely.
it also it gives these guys it gives the clubs an avenue to scout more talent as well. And maybe they're lacking in a certain department. They can go, oh well, this guy he competed against our club. In that it just gives them that name to put up there, and they go, oh, watch out for this guy.
Right. And funny you say that, Jamie. Um, yeah, like how many I guess sleepers there are out there, like
Yeah,
you wouldn't even know, but then until on the field and it's like, hey, look out.
yep, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
No, that's so obviously, that was really good time in your life. Bit of a breath of fresh air being over in England. Playing in the Challenge Cup, playing again in the cold weather. With I guess the style of footy that they play over there is a lot different to it in Australia too, isn't it?
it was still like it hadn't gone into it was still I think what's the word? You're still able to play, national footy, but the structure wasn't as what's the word? It wasn't in place as much as it is now. But what's it called? You could get away with the stiff arm or whatnot. Fair game still, but you know, yeah, it was just it was a great time.
Yeah. Uh, I want to jump into your boxing career because I was reading a bit
Yep.
of your boxing career, man, and you had a pretty hell of a career with boxing, man. So once you finished, playing rugby league, you played, excuse me, a total of 159 first grade games.
Mate, I
You,
was
you
going. I was going. Remember, in that 2000 bit, I took off with Chalk when he first went into boxing. But I came back
yes,
to
yeah,
football, you see. But he
yeah,
stayed with boxing, you see.
yeah,
Um,
right, yeah, yeah,
yeah. But what a what a journey that was too. So it was good to go through that and seeing now many of the footballers jump in there now
yeah,
and sort of be that like sort of cross code kind of thing.
yeah,
Um, but it's good to see, boxing get also it's sort of interest that it should be getting, especially for our homegrown fighters.
Yeah,
Who don't get as much interest as I guess the sports like rugby league do. But
yeah,
we're starting to see that sort of change.
yeah,
Used to be the other way around, eh, with the golden era of Australian boxing.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
I think was it Georgie Rose with No Limit Boxing? He's done a really good job promoting a lot of the fights.
Georgie and
Getting it.
sorry,
Sorry, what was
Jamie.
that?
No, yeah. On the second stint of my boxing, Matty Rose, so George's older brother.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah, so he got me to get back into the ring again, and that was my second stint up
yeah,
until yeah, I had my last fight. I think it was in Poland. So yeah, that was the
yeah,
last
right.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, well, just going back onto what we were talking about with the rugby league guys going across and fighting and stuff. Like I
yeah,
said, Georgie Rose with the lone limit boxing. I think they've done a really good job with promoting local fights. Tim Zoo, Nikita Zoo, and
yeah, yeah,
still a lot of
yeah.
the footballers as well. I
Yep.
think they're doing an amazing job there with that no limit boxing.
I mean, I was going to say, yeah. So, Matty had a lot to do with me coming back the second time round,
Yeah,
to the boxing arena, and he was my promoter.
yep,
Um, so sort of, him and another fellow from Orange, um, uh, Semi RC, yeah. So yeah, started getting the promotions up and going. Had
yep,
little small promotions here and there, and then sort of getting into the bigger one. So, but yeah, I was thankful enough to win some regional titles there with Maddie and Trent and George. Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah,
So you had a total of 30 professional fights,
yep,
24 wins, 21 KOs. You had 4 losses and 2 draws.
yep,
I know last couple of your losses come in the last probably couple of fights that you had.
yep,
I remember reading one of them was against, one of the guys who ended up going on to be a heavyweight champion in Joseph Parker.
yeah, yeah. I fought Paco when he was sort of yeah. There was no one around in the southern hemisphere to fight him, so
Yeah,
I think I was about 40 odd, and then but I put my hand up and yeah, got the opportunity, and what a great kid, man.
yeah,
Met his family before the fight, but he went on to be world champion. So all credit to him, man. He was a lovely kid.
yeah. And he's doing pretty well for himself now. He's over in Tyson Fury's training camps. He's
Yep,
going to do some more big fights now.
yep.
But when you look back at your boxing career, is there anything that you sort of made you sit back and go, "Wow, like I'm really proud of this achievement that I've had with rugby league, like representing Tonga, Australia, and New South Wales." But is there something that you've taken out of boxing, with your dad being a former Australian champion, that you've gone, I'm proud
Yeah,
of that even more?
I think for the biggest thing was winning the Australian title with something that my dad had done, and so we both won it, and that for me was not to say that you know no, wait, I'll take that back. It was a beautiful achievement, something that I'd always dreamt about, and something I did with dad as well. So I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, like your boxing career just is ridiculous. 30 wins, 30 fights, 24 wins. Like that's a bloody good record to have, and 21 of them by knockout.
Oh man, I was very fortunate enough. What's called my trainers used to put steel in the gloves, and
Yeah.
nah, No, I
Just to
never.
help out a bit now.
I never do that, but no, it
Yeah,
was very fortunate enough to, yeah, I guess I got that from dad, the power or natural gift from God, but there's so much entails in any sport, that's only part
yeah,
of it. So, the beauty of rugby league, the beauty of boxing, there's always a method to the madness, so
yeah,
to speak. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I was reading up, mate, that you've got a couple of kids. I was reading that you got 5 kids. Um, could
Yep.
be wrong. But
No, you're right.
yep. So with your being a father and a professional athlete, how did you go from wearing the different hats, of your life, from being a dad to a partner to a professional sports person to being a mate as well? How did you how did you
Mate,
deal with that?
I failed terribly, mate. I failed terribly. But I'm fortunate enough that God has blessed me with a beautiful wife and a life partner. And so that true partnership of our first team, our family. My wife put up with so much on my rubbish, but we've managed to get through a lot of things and come together. In those storms, is where the beauty comes from, and I think like we were training on the weekend. The girls, we had a big session with the Lisa Fiala girls and Manny.
Yep.
But going through that initial bit of just getting through it, and then but at the end, that bond that they have is just yeah, it's yeah, it goes beyond words, mate, and
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to have my wife. Very thankful to have those experiences, but yeah, I couldn't do it without it. And foremost, my faith, with myself and my wife. Yeah, everything is because of the big fella, mate. So,
Yeah.
yep.
No, that's fair enough, mate. Absolutely. You know, it's hard to go through life, let alone going through sporting, a professional sporting career without that solid foundation behind you.
Yeah,
That one person that you can count on, rely on, with you through your good times and bad times. So, it's great that you've had that there. Um,
very lucky.
because it doesn't come around all the time.
Yes.
So yeah,
No, I'm very thankful, man. And I think like especially um yeah, like we're talking about sports and the rugby league and whatnot. The beauty of coming together, and having that one true purpose, and seeing everyone sort of growing off each other and building off each other, and seeing something beautiful at the end of it. I think that's the beautiful thing about family, and beautiful thing about teams and team sports. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. What's one bit of advice that you could have given yourself when you were younger, coming up through the grades, that you know now?
uh, Mate, I think yeah, I think what's called shucks, you got me with that one.
It could be anything, man. Like, it's something that you probably pass on to your children as well. That when you started your career, it's a matter of hard work, or being professional when you're talking to people in the sporting realm, or professional realm. You know,
Well, the sooner that you can start being um sharp. Wait, I'll take that back. Um, um just I know. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's a really good one. Yeah.
So I think um yeah, just how I guess sporting life is so much to do uh with people and others. Your life is going to be evolved around that, and so um you know one thing that you can control is yourself. You can't
Yeah.
control others, but that time that you have, or that the opportunity that you have, make it worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, I want to jump onto that main question that I messaged you about. Yeah, he's
Yep.
talking about Perth for the 18th team. I don't know if you would have seen in the news lately. There's been heaps of conjecture about Papua New Guinea getting a team,
Yeah.
the Pacifica getting a team, New Zealand getting a second team,
Yeah.
and Perth just seems to be always left by the wayside. Like, there's not much talk about it.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on who should be the 18th team?
You know what? I haven't really even um made any sort of thought about that, to tell you the truth. But
Yeah,
you know what? Uh, the thing I was talking about with Western Australia, what's it called? I reckon you stick a couple so hey Dream. This is hello. Hey brother.
how you doing, mate?
James Dream Buller, so he's with my daughter.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so he can come in and what a gentleman. What a
Yeah,
good kid.
nice.
But yeah, so sorry James.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Just gone blank there.
Yeah, just we're talking about the 18th team with Perth.
So yeah, if you get a couple Aussie rules players, get them to wear the get them to have a pre-season with the boys and get them to play, strap it up. I reckon you get a bit of interest there.
Yeah,
Get the support behind. But
yeah,
that's all it is, really.
yeah,
Because once they get to know and understand the game that we know and love,
yeah,
it's like Aussie rules, like the sport that they understand and know. But until they know rugby league, yeah, that it's another I guess another way of life that can really bring something positive, impact them in a way which they'll make them grow in many ways. So
yeah,
um, I hope, yeah, Western Australia is that they get that opportunity.
yeah.
Um,
Well, like we've got lots of expats over here, like heaps of expat eastern got people from the eastern states, New
yeah,
Zealand,
yeah,
the islands as well, and then we've got
yeah,
people from South Africa and England here. There's so
that's
many
right.
people over here that have
That's right.
loved the game for years, moved over here for work and other things.
Yeah,
Um, like we had two state of origins over here in the last 4 or 5 years, and they
that's
sold
right. Yeah,
sold
you're
out
right.
60,000 people.
There you go.
And we had last season we had the double header here. We had four teams here playing on the same day, and 45,000 people went to the games.
Hey, that's
You know,
unbelievable.
yeah, and it's
Well,
like because obviously I was there and I was rocking my Bronco stuff, even though the Broncos weren't playing. But
mate, so how
you
does
walk
that
around,
work with you? How does that work
hey,
with you, James? How does that work with you? Try to promote Western Australia with your Broncos jersey?
mate, because I love rugby league and I love Perth.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I've got heaps of kids. I mean, I've got 10 kids that live in my house.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Everyone is
so
everyone a Broncos supporter?
No, just my babies. I made sure that my babies are Broncos supporters. Everyone else can support whoever they want, but
Right.
yeah, it's
And figure.
like I want a future for my kids for when they get older and they want to represent a team.
Yeah.
It make if there's a Perth team here, um, it's easier for them to get recognised. There's a pathway for them. But it's also the fact of if there's a Perth team here, I can take my kids to the games. I can take them to watch the biggest stars in the NRL play.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah, and that's all it is, mate. Like I'll absolutely live and die a Broncos supporter.
Yeah.
But I'll do anything I can to support the Perth team.
Mate, but yeah, you were listening many great things of the Broncos and the them in their prime. Wow.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed this year, but it is what it is.
Man, you know what? I switched off the game at halftime. I was thinking, oh, he got it in the bag, yeah. And then went to see what happened. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's 48.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. It's just one of those things, But yeah, you were talking to me before about the RYC Redfern Youth Connect.
Yes. So
Can
myself.
you give me, what is it? What's your role, and how do people that are watching this help out?
So myself and my wife probably about 10 years ago now. I was still boxing at the time. Just our kids were in the Redfern community. So my wife's Aboriginal, and she's how we met is through her cousin Choc.
Yep.
So yeah, so they're first cousins, and that's how we met. And then yeah, we ended up having a family together. So we started a youth drop-in center in the Redfern community. We have a lot of kids, who are of Aboriginal descent, but also open to all kids as well. We run a few programs there, and we impact quite a few families, and we have a couple other programs as well. We're looking to do in the new year. So more family. Sorry, more to do with pathways,
Yep.
with work and whatnot. So especially our younger guys, instead of hanging around and getting up to mischief, just having that sort of opportunity to not only have a safe space, but have opportunities to lead on to other things, different pathways. So we have corporate partnerships as well. So trying to utilize that for the kids as well. But yeah, James. So if there's anything that we can do to help as well,
Yep.
promote this or whatever. We do stuff with our kids. As we said before, so it's a non-profit charity. So so that's kind of it in a sort of small way.
Is there a website or anything that
there is a website, James. So
yeah?
I'm more the office person, and my wife's. Why are you laughing, James? Come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, she plays a role just like in a team, mate. We all have our roles.
That's it, man.
But I'm very, very fortunate enough to do that. So we're what's it called? Redfern Youth Connect.
Yep.
www.redfernyouthconnect.org. Yeah. So
yeah, sweet.
If you ever have a chance, you're in Sydney, come park and have a yarn and have something to eat, and
Yeah.
and our kids first sit there. But yeah, you'll be able to see firsthand what we do. So
No, that's cool, man. I'll put up the website on my socials, mate, so people
oh,
can go through and help out and what they can because you know we all know hear the stories and stuff about Redfern having with this huge indigenous population, in that area. And we've got over here in Perth, mate, we've got huge indigenous population.
yeah,
And it's I find that the ones that are in trouble and all that sort of stuff, they just need the right guidance.
yeah,
If they're guided into sports or into the proper work or whatever it is, then they wouldn't be troubled youths. They'll be, they'll have their focus down. And I think the other thing too is that they need a role model. And it's like you said before, it's not just the indigenous. It's all these troubled youths and stuff these days.
yeah.
They
You
just need
see that,
a role model and a pathway.
Jamie? Yeah, is not the Aboriginal. It's it's all as a collective,
Yeah, yeah,
So but if anything, and I think with understanding, I think that's where a lot of indifferences are because
yeah,
you know when I remember first coming in this country, I found it hard, relating to others, but it wasn't until I sort of made that effort, made that time to really understand and really connect with
yeah,
those whom I sort of I I I didn't necessarily wasn't a part of their lives, but they were around my life, so I took that initiative and really got to connect better, and
yeah,
I think that's a beautiful thing that a youth organization does is we have a connection with the kids, with the community, with everyone because we've taken the importance of building those relationships and getting to know the people firsthand. So
yeah.
yeah,
No, that's cool, man. That's awesome what you and your wife are doing, mate. Um, there's
yeah,
there needs to be
we're one of
people
many.
like you guys out there doing it. So
Yeah, we're one of many, and we're thankful to have the opportunity. But what's called yeah, so just keep doing the do and like yourself doing what you're doing, fighting
yeah,
for Western Australia to get that hopefully that next franchise. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens, eh?
yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm hoping to come over to Sydney. I was over there this year for round 27.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm hoping to come over again this year. I wanna go to Queensland as well to go see the Magic Round. So I'm gonna try and get over east and do a few trips over there for the weekend and watch a few games.
Mate.
Hopefully catch up with yourself and your lovely
You
wife.
do
And
yeah, you got my contact, so yeah, please don't be shy, man.
oh,
Yeah, but
absolutely. And likewise, mate, you have come over to Perth. Just give me a shout, mate. You can come over to our house with our 100 kids that we got here. Have a
you know
family
what?
dinner.
You got your age, what said of there, mate?
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's so good.
Yeah. No, it's like that's what I do all my stuff for is my kids. It's um I'm trying to get the 18 team here in my perspective for the future of the West Australian kids. My kids are a part of that. So
That's so good.
yeah, that's what I try to do.
That's so good, then.
No, but I appreciate
Uh,
you jumping on today, man. Um, have you got a message for the people of Western Australia, mate?
Western Australia, I'm a proud Tongan man, and my wife's Aboriginal woman, and our family we're firm believers in Jesus Christ, and we're thankful, Jamie, to have you share your time with us, and we just encourage you with all that you're doing, especially with your family, with all the kids that you're doing. we know that the importance of that what that love can sort of grow into. So keep up your great work, Jamie, please, and
Thank you, mate.
thank you for having this opportunity, sharing the experiences of sport and some life sort of messages there. So I hope I hope you all the very best, James, and what's called. I look forward to catching up in person when you're in Sydney.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, no worries.
Beautiful, man. Thank you, Solomon Haumono, for jumping on and joining me on NRL Fans WA, buddy.
Jamie, bless you, mate. And what's called? I'll tell you what. Go go the Eagles, but I tell you what, I used to love my runnings with Gordo and Shane Ricky and who else was there? They had a solid pack. Dawn
Oh,
was
Petro as
there.
well.
Dawn was there as well. Petro come in as well. But yeah, you knew you got as much as you gave, eh? So, but it was always great to yeah, lock horns with those boys. So yeah, very thankful. And James, take care of yourself, and I'll hopefully see you soon.
No
Good,
worries,
God.
man. Thank you very much.
See you, mate.
See you,
Bye.
bud. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.